Story 1. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead like a dying swarm of insects. That constant, high-pitched buzz drilled into my skull. Every single night I worked the graveyard shift at the little gas station off Route 62 outside Crestwood, Ohio. It was October 2017. I was 21, broke, lost, and telling myself this job was only temporary. Just a few months until I figured out my life. During the day, the store felt almost normal. People came and went, buying lottery tickets, energy drinks, cigarettes, and gas. But after 9 p.m., the world outside the massive glass windows turned into an endless black void. The parking lot lights barely reached the edges of the property, and beyond that, nothing but thick woods and darkness so complete it felt alive. That night I was completely alone. My coworker had called in sick, and the manager didn't bother finding a replacement. "You can handle it," he said. Famous last words. Around 10:07 p.m., the old landline phone on the counter rang. The sound was shrill and unnatural in the empty store. I wiped my hands on my vest and picked it up. "Hello, Crestwood Fuel and Convenience." The voice on the other end was low, raspy, and deliberately distorted, like someone speaking through a cheap voice changer. "Are you all alone in there tonight?" A cold finger traced down my spine. I forced a laugh. "Yeah, buddy, you got me. Real funny. Who is this?" Click. He hung up. I immediately texted my group chat. "One of you assholes is prank calling me right now, LOL. Everyone denied it. I shrugged it off and went back to restocking cigarettes. 10 minutes later, the phone rang again. "Why did you hang up on me?" The voice sounded calmer now, almost amused. "It's rude to hang up on someone who knows exactly where you are right now." My stomach dropped. I looked around the empty store, suddenly aware of how brightly lit I was. A glowing target in the middle of nowhere. "Look, man, this isn't funny anymore." He chuckled softly. "You keep looking at the parking lot. Still empty, isn't it? Hasn't been a car in almost 20 minutes. I froze. He was right. From that moment, the calls came every few minutes, each one more intimate. He described the flickering bulb above the beer cooler, the way my sneakers squeaked on the tile when I walked to the back room, the exact number of cars that had passed on the road in the last hour. He even mentioned the small tear on the left sleeve of my work vest, something only visible if you were watching me up close. I stopped answering after the 5th call, but the ringing never stopped. Each ring felt louder, angrier, like it was pounding directly against my skull. My hands started shaking so badly I could barely grip anything. I turned my attention to the security cameras. The footage was grainy, night vision green. The station sat isolated beside an old county road. Thick woods pressed against one side of the building, while a narrow alley with overflowing dumpsters ran along the other. There were blind spots everywhere. At first, nothing. Then the sound started. Soft tapping on the side windows, slow scraping along the brick wall, footsteps crunching on the gravel out back. I told myself it was raccoons, wind, anything but what I feared. But my body knew. Cold sweat soaked through my shirt. My mouth tasted like copper. At 11:40 p.m., the last customer of the night walked in. He looked normal. Late 20s, clean jeans, dark hoodie. Nothing obviously wrong, but something about the way he moved set off every alarm in my head. He drifted between the aisles too slowly, constantly glancing over the shelves to track where I stood behind the counter. He picked up a single bag of chips and approached. The air between us felt thick, suffocating. I scanned the chips in silence. When I looked up, he was staring directly into my eyes, a flat, emotionless gaze that seemed to last forever. No warmth, no humanity, just hunger. He paid in cash. As he turned toward the door, he stopped halfway, twisted only his head back at an unnatural angle, and smiled. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. Slow, deliberate, full of cruel satisfaction, like he'd been waiting for this exact moment. He didn't go to a car. He walked around the side of the building toward the woods, keeping eye contact with me through the glass until he vanished into a camera blind spot. That broke something inside me. I locked both front doors with trembling hands, texted my family and friends, "Creepy guy outside. If I stop replying, something bad happened." I rushed through closing duties, constantly sprinting back to the monitors. He never reappeared on camera. Midnight finally came. I killed most of the lights, grabbed my keys, and ran for my car parked on the side of the building. The cold October air slapped my face. Just as I reached the driver's door, I heard it. Fast, heavy footsteps, sprinting from around the front corner. Pure animal panic exploded in my chest. I threw myself into the car, slammed the door, hit the lock, and jammed the key into the ignition. The engine roared to life. I reversed so hard the tires screamed. In the rearview mirror, I saw him standing perfectly still under the bright lights of the pumps, still wearing that same smile, watching me disappear into the night. The next day, I told my manager everything. He reviewed the footage, shrugged, and said the guy looked like a normal customer. I quit that same afternoon and never went back. To this day, I don't know if the caller and the smiling man were the same person or working together, but they knew too much. They enjoyed my fear, and I still wake up some nights hearing that phone ringing in the dark. Story 2. The most dangerous people rarely look dangerous. They look successful. They look polished, confident, and kind, like they're offering you a hand out of the ordinary life you're drowning in. My name is Lauren. For almost 2 years, I worked the night shift at the Lantern, a small dive bar on the quiet outskirts of Riverton, right off the interstate. It was one of those classic local spots: dim yellow lighting, faded band posters on the walls, an old jukebox playing rock classics, and a handful of loyal regulars who mostly kept to themselves. After 1 a.m. on weekdays, I was completely alone. At first, I actually liked the quiet. The tips were decent, the music was good, and the loneliness felt almost peaceful. Until the night everything changed. It was a slow Tuesday, just after 1:15 a.m. The door chimed and in walked a man who immediately felt out of place. Mid-40s, impeccably groomed, wearing a black turtleneck sweater that probably cost more than my monthly rent, and a tailored charcoal trench coat. His watch caught the low light and glinted like real luxury. He carried himself with the quiet confidence of someone who was never told no in his life. He ordered a top-shelf whiskey, neat, and slid onto the stool directly across from me. At first, the conversation was normal: where I was from, how long I'd worked there, what I did for fun. But slowly, smoothly, the questions became deeper, personal. He asked if I was truly happy pouring drinks for strangers in a small-town bar, if I ever dreamed of something bigger, if I ever wanted to travel, wear beautiful clothes, wake up in penthouse suites instead of my cramped studio apartment. His voice was warm, almost fatherly, but something in his eyes made my skin crawl. They were too sharp, too calculating. Exactly 1 week later, he returned. This time he wasn't alone. The woman with him was in her mid-30s, dressed in expensive but slightly try-hard designer clothes. She smiled too widely the moment she saw me. Within minutes, she was leaning over the bar, touching my arm, complimenting my hair, my eyes, my energy. They worked perfectly as a team. They told me about their exclusive private club for very wealthy clients. Just one weekend, $10,000 cash, possibly more if the clients like me. "Girls like you do incredibly well there," the woman said, never letting that plastic, perfect smile drop from her face. "You're exactly what they're looking for." I politely but firmly refused. I told them I wasn't interested. They smiled, paid with a $100 bill, told me to think about it, and left. 3 nights later, I noticed their black Mercedes parked across the street after closing. Lights off, engine silent, just sitting there in the darkness. When I pulled out of the parking lot, it followed me at a careful distance. I only lost them by speeding into the police station parking lot and waiting for 20 minutes. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. It happened on another slow weekday night, just before closing. I was alone, wiping down the bar top and humming along to an old Eagles song on the jukebox. The front door opened. The woman walked in by herself, still wearing that same artificial, too-wide smile. She sat down and ordered an old-fashioned. While I had my back turned mixing her drink, I heard the soft click of the front door locking. When I spun around, she was gone. A black van with no license plate and its lights completely off was idling right outside the entrance. At the exact same moment, violent, aggressive banging exploded against the back door, like someone was trying to kick it off its hinges. Terror hit me like ice water poured straight into my veins. My heart slammed against my ribs so hard I thought it would burst. My hands shook violently as horrible images flooded my mind. Them dragging me out the back, throwing me into that van, my life ending in some nightmare I would never wake up from. I slammed my palm on the silent panic button under the counter, grabbed the heaviest stainless steel cocktail shaker I could find, and dropped down behind the bar, trying to make myself as small as possible. The banging on the back door grew louder, more frantic, more desperate. I could hear male voices shouting at each other outside. They were coordinated. They had planned this. I was certain this was how girls disappear forever. Then at the very last second, I saw the headlights of my boss's truck pulling into the parking lot. He had decided to stop by unannounced to check on inventory. The banging instantly stopped. The black van peeled away into the night with a screech of tires. The police came. We reviewed the security footage together. What we saw was chilling. Two masked men had been waiting right outside the front door, ready to grab me the moment I stepped out, or the woman lured me closer. A third man had been working on the back door, trying to force me toward the front like flushing prey. Everything had been timed perfectly. They knew my exact schedule. They knew I would be alone after 1 a.m. They had spent weeks building false comfort and trust, using that expensive, charming smile to lower my defenses. I no longer work completely alone at the Lantern. My boss made sure of that. But every single night shift still fills me with a deep, crawling anxiety I can't shake. I constantly feel eyes on me from the dark corners of the parking lot. Sometimes when I'm home alone, I still hear that violent, desperate banging on a door in my nightmares. And I know deep down that they're still out there, smiling their expensive smiles, looking for the next girl who dreams of something more. Story 3. You think you're safe inside a massive, brightly lit superstore at 2 in the morning? Hundreds of fluorescent lights beating down from the ceiling, security cameras every 30 feet, wide open aisles, and plenty of space to run. Nothing bad can happen here, right? That's exactly what I believed until the night two strangers turned my sense of safety into a carefully orchestrated trap. My name is Emily. I work the overnight shift in the electronics department of a huge Walmart supercenter on the outskirts of Glenfield. Most nights are dead quiet. A few tired truckers, night owls buying diapers or snacks, and that's it. The store feels almost peaceful under those harsh white lights. I usually wear headphones and zone out restocking shelves until sunrise, but not that night. It started around 1:40 a.m. I noticed him, a man in his mid-30s, average height, wearing a plain gray hoodie and jeans. He wasn't shopping. He was just standing, lingering in the nearby aisles, pretending to look at phone cases or headphones while his eyes stayed locked on me. Every time I moved to a new section, he followed. Never close enough for me to say something, but never far enough for me to feel alone. He was always there, just at the edge of my vision. I started getting uneasy. I kept glancing toward the customer service desk, hoping a manager or another associate would walk by. No one came. Then she appeared. Out of nowhere, a woman I had never seen before suddenly grabbed my arm with both hands and let out a loud, excited squeal. "Oh my God, there you are! I've been looking everywhere for you." She was in her late 20s or early 30s, nicely dressed, with a big warm smile plastered across her face. Before I could pull away, she started talking rapidly, mentioning made-up memories, inside jokes, a fake trip we supposedly took together last summer. She was so convincing that for a few seconds I actually questioned whether I knew her and had somehow forgotten. Then she leaned in close, still smiling brightly, and whispered urgently in my ear, "That guy over there has been recording you the whole time. He's got his phone out. Come with me right now. I'll get you somewhere safe." A wave of fear mixed with relief washed over me. Someone had actually noticed. Someone was helping. I let her pull me away through the long, brightly lit aisles. She kept the friendly act going perfectly, laughing loudly, talking about our old times, acting like we were two best friends reuniting. At first, I felt genuinely grateful. My heart was still racing, but I thought I was being protected. We walked deeper into the store, past the toys, past the garden center, heading toward the dimly lit warehouse area and the side exit that almost no one used. The further we went, the fewer cameras there were. The lights grew slightly dimmer, the shelves taller and more oppressive. After a few minutes, something felt wrong, very wrong. I stopped walking. "Thank you, but I'm okay now. I'll go back to the front and tell security." Her smile never faltered, but her grip on my arm suddenly became painfully tight, fingers digging into my flesh like claws. "Just a little further," she said sweetly. "He's still following us. Trust me." In that exact moment, everything clicked into place. The fake excitement, the way she knew exactly how to make me scared and then offer safety. This wasn't help. This was a trap. Adrenaline exploded through my body. I screamed at the top of my lungs, a raw, desperate sound that echoed through the empty store, and ripped my arm free with every ounce of strength I had. She tried to grab me again, but I shoved a display card into her path and ran. I sprinted toward the front of the store, heart hammering, shoes squeaking on the polished floor. Behind me, the woman dropped the entire act. Her voice turned cold and vicious as she shouted my real name, a name I had never told her. "Emily, stop running, Emily!" Security guards came rushing toward me from multiple directions. The man and woman vanished almost instantly. They melted into the aisles like they had practiced this many times before. Later that morning, the police reviewed the security footage with me and the store manager. What we saw was absolutely chilling. The man and woman had entered the store together. He was the distraction, the obvious watcher designed to make me nervous and vulnerable. She was the hunter. Every move was calculated. She had deliberately led me toward one of the few areas in the massive store with almost no camera coverage, the side warehouse exit. Her face was carefully angled away from every single camera the entire time. Professional, methodical. They knew my name. They knew my exact schedule. They knew exactly how to exploit a young woman's fear in a place where she was supposed to feel safest. It was a planned abduction. If I hadn't broken free and screamed when I did, I would have disappeared that night. Just another missing person story people scroll past on the news. I still work at the same Walmart because I need the money and can't find anything better right now. But nothing feels the same anymore. Every stranger who walks down my aisle makes my blood run cold. Every shadow between the tall shelves feels like it's hiding someone. Every unexpected noise in the quiet hours of the night makes me flinch. I now understand how terrifyingly easy it is for a person to vanish, even under bright fluorescent lights, surrounded by cameras, in the middle of a giant superstore. They knew my name, and somewhere out there, they're probably still using that same warm, friendly smile on someone else.